So far in 2022, the paper has endorsed 12 Democrats, 2 independents, and 2 Republicans, Glassman and a city council candidate in Washington. You go back further, and the disparity is even more stark. Over the past 5 major election cycles, the Post has backed 78 Democrats, 9 independents, and just 8 Republicans out of 95 total endorsements. And look, the Washington Post isn't alone. The New York Times hasn't endorsed a Republican for president since Dwight Eisenhower. And in race after race, the paper of record, as it's called, has a long record of backing Democrats. So let's face it, big city newspaper endorsements aren't exactly brimming with suspense. We know which way they're going to go. In the Washington Post case, 91 out of 100. But they still try to claim that the editorial boards, which are overtly opinionated, are separate from the news division, which they claim is unbiased. Except very few in the public, particularly conservatives, buy that distinction. And the numbers with regard to these endorsements speak volumes. So don't these endorsements just further cement the liberal media as just that, the liberal media? Joining us now is Frank Sesno, former CNN Washington bureau chief, the director of strategic initiatives at George Washington University's School of Media and Public Affairs. Frank, thrilled to have you back on the show. Welcome back. Appreciate it. So you think I'm getting anything wrong here so far?
Well, I think you're getting one thing wrong, and that is that there are actually a lot of newspapers, or what used to be newspapers, across the country that have conservative editorial boards and conservative publishers and owners. They tend to be in more smaller, rural districts and other parts of the country. You're right. The New York Times, the Washington Post are the big behemoths here. Let's not forget the Wall Street Journal. That's a big national newspaper, too. It endorses on the other side. But you're absolutely right about the Washington Post and their track record and whom they typically endorse.
And don't you think, therefore, that maybe some of these papers should just stop being in the business, the big national papers? I get it. If you're a local, publication and people are deciding on elections where no one knows anything about who the candidates are, it's helpful to have someone summarize and say, we support this person for county judge and this and that. But for the Washington Post and New York Times, shouldn't they just end the business of endorsements?
Maybe. I mean, there are a lot of people who say that for exactly the same reasons that you're citing, that this crosses over the line, that it further confuses that line between opinion and fact and reporting, and that it's predictable. You could ask a question, what if instead of doing the editorial board endorsement, they took a series of op-ed columnists on both sides and did a series of very well thought out, very well written endorsements from people know and trust and who come from both sides of the aisle. As long as newspapers continue to have editorial boards and editorial columns, as long as they continue to say climate change is good or bad, wear your mask or don't, they're going to continue to endorse these candidates. But I think it's a fair question.
Now, here's my theory on this.
This is a tradition whose time has played out.
Frank, my theory on this is that it's the power. They like the idea of inviting in the candidates. Oh, come convince us. And they get to meet the candidates, and the editorial board gets to evaluate, and they get to have their lunch with the candidates who come and suck up to the great editorial boards. I think that's the reason they don't want to give up on this.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how many candidates are sucking up to anybody in media anymore, because a lot of the air has gone out of that balloon.
That's fair.
Look, I think you're right. I think that there's a lot of, how transparent, how do people even know how editorial boards came to this conclusion, what they assess? Now, in this editorial endorsing Barry Glassman for comptroller, they talk about, some of his positions on widening big interstates and protecting the pension funds. Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad he's doing that. But does it really help? How many people sit down? It's a tradition, Dan, you know this, that there was a tradition that the newspaper, the local newspaper, was a respected part of the community.
Yeah. That
endorsement used to matter. Yeah. But publishers have always come from left or right or someplace else. These have always been positions of power for these publications to wield. Mm-hmm. And so I just really wonder whether what you're saying isn't the time has come to move away from these newspaper-driven, I don't want to call them contrived, but maybe they are, endorsements.
Frank Sesno, as always, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.